What's going on, team? Welcome to episode 18 of the Keep Going podcast, Athletes Shining a Light on Mental Health. This is Luke Wheat in Knoxville, Tennessee. Patrick O'Malley is here with me, not in Chi-Town. What's up, Pat?
Kind of rare, man. Out in Long Island, New York, just putting on for the East Coast. What's going on with you, Luke?
Dude, just holding it down in Knox, man. I used to be sponsor of the pod, Power Pipe Hitting, and old Scuba P. I saw Jake P last night, so it was good to see some old boys.
Yeah, it's always good to shout out Jake Peterson, fellow NCSA team member, brother for life. Just a great
D3
dude.
grinder.
D3 grinder. Yeah. Former son of sponsor Scuba P, Steve Peterson over at Power Pipe. So if you haven't looked, Power Pipe training, free plug, free ad for him.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
No
Dude,
doubt,
it's always good to get linked up with Scuba P. Smart guy and always going to get you right over there.
No, I couldn't agree more for our young baseball and softball athletes. But Luke, I wanted to shout out the networks, everybody from last week. What did you think of last week's episode?
Mike is a great guy. As always, I don't think Pat has ever steered me wrong whenever it comes to meeting another human being, and he hit the nail on the head again with Mike. Rugby is not an easy sport. It's mentally tasking. It's physically tasking. So just learning how Mike dealt with those tough situations at a school like Villanova, that's obviously academically strong as well, and kind of propel them into his career, into the actual job world is awesome.
No, I agree. And another shout out for grandparents last week. I mean, I feel like that's been a big spark. And we talk about, our support system all the time, but sometimes it just takes that one spark, that one person to maybe give you some advice or tough love. I know you have conversations throughout every day, but man, it just takes one. So I love that. The keep going mantra and feeding that into his everyday life was awesome.
Yeah.
No doubt. Luke, we're not specialists though at all. I want to make sure we don't forget that here.
That's right, man. We're not psychologists. We're not psychiatrists. Just a couple ex-athletes trying to make a positive change for mental health, right? Just trying to end the stigma. And another guy that's doing that is Jeremy Wolf. Why don't you tell the people a little bit about that interview we did on Monday?
Yeah, fantastic. Team Israel stand up, former New York Mets, former D3 grinder, Jeremy Wolf. If you're a baseball guy, if you're someone that likes our pod, jump over to Mine Ready. Jeremy Wolf and the boys and girls over there, they are fantastic. So look on our page. That was our interview from earlier this week. And Luke, anything else on Jeremy? What a fantastic dude. What a fantastic cause.
I think what inspired me most about Jeremy was the nonprofit that he did to start his career in baseball after his actual playing career. When you spend 4 years working on something and don't make a dime off of it, and you're committed to making a better situation for thousands of players in the minor leagues, that impact is going to last longer than his life will.
No doubt. And there's something to be said about, staying committed to the vision, right? Keeping that tunnel vision. He must have had a lot of people that were not happy about that at first. And he was making a huge impact for thousands of families, thousands of people. So hats off to Jeremy Wolf and hats off to Mind Ready. I couldn't be more of a support for what they do. That's for sure.
100%. Well, hey man, Pat, let's get into this weekly mental health self-help, dude. What'd you get into this week?
No doubt. Well, I want to be conscious of Andrea Brigham's time. She's jumping on for our interview this week, but mental health wise, it's been a grind. Another travel week for me. If you can hear my background, I'm not in my apartment. So being able to travel and still keep the routines and spending time with my people has been huge. Atmosphere has been good. Vibes have been good. Getting with my people, that's been a big part of my routine this week. How about you?
100%. Staying dedicated. This week was a grind, man. We had school Monday through Thursday, and then we had parent advisor conferences on Friday. Not parent teacher. We take 9 advisees from freshman year to senior year, and I am their advisor for their whole high school career. So I meet with their parents and kind of walk them through, okay, they're taking these classes, they're taking these, they may need to look at this, what are their interests, et cetera. So we're really like hands-on at Webb for caring for the kids, right? It's something that we get to do because we have such a small school, and it's awesome. But on top of those two things, we had 4 games in 5 days.
Ooh, so how the boys do? Tell listeners how the boys did.
Yeah. So we had a win on Tuesday, right? Day off on Wednesday, win on Thursday in a thriller, man. And then a win on Friday and a loss on Saturday. So the thriller, dude, We go up 1-0 right before halftime. The other team ties it with 2 minutes left. Okay. A couple guys laying on the ground. And what I love to see, this fired me up. Our captains go and pick them up off the ground and say, we've still got time. We're going to win this game.
That's it.
And we get a free kick with 30 seconds left, put it on frame, keeper drops it. We crash the box and score with 30 seconds left and we win. It's all about your attitude, man. It's all about the mindset.
Yeah, get knocked down 7, get up 8, baby. We love that. Right. And you're breeding that culture. And that's a good lesson for our listeners, understanding that a lot of student athletes are listening, just understanding that it's not going to be perfect every ball game, not every game, whatever. And being able to stay with it, know that we're not done with time on the clock, and then get that W. I love that, man. Great lesson learned there. And not only sports, but in life as well. But without further ado, I got to introduce Andrea Brigham. What's up, baby?
Hey, Pat, how are you?
We're living. How about you?
I'm good. I'm in Chicago right now. Super sunny, super nice. Going to go on a walk after this and get outside, but I'm really happy to be here. So thanks for having me.
No doubt. We're 10 seconds in, Luke. We already got a hot girl walk for today scheduled.
Oh, come on now. Let's go.
AB, if you didn't listen to that episode, we had a couple episodes back. We talked about a hot girl walk, which is a huge thing right now, where I shouldn't say student athletes, but men and women are going on gratitude walks. And it's a huge cause for charity and really spend that mental health message. So appreciate you getting your gratitude walk in today. That's for sure.
Yeah, totally. On that same vein, and I appreciate, Pat, some of the things you mentioned too regarding like, what are you doing this week for your mental health? I actually got a massage yesterday, which was really
nice.
So I feel like self-care is something that I've been really focused on over the past couple of weeks, and it's been making me feel really good. So
no doubt.
That may be the play next time. I've not even thought about that. That may be the play for me this week or the one after. I'm thinking about it now.
Yeah.
No doubt. So you feel like that massage helped loosen up everything, stressors, body-wise?
Oh yeah, 100%. I work in sales, so I'm constantly at a desk, head down, and I feel like my neck and my shoulders, I just feel like a whole new person after getting those massaged out. So it's for sure the move. I would highly recommend.
I love that. Well, 18 episodes in, that's the first massage reference. And anything else for your mental health this week that helped?
Yeah, I would say another kick that I've kind of been on lately, not only the walks, but doing like yoga, stretching, Pilates. I've been kind of getting into that a lot with having come from, a volleyball background in college and doing a lot of heavy lifting. I've kind of gotten off that kick, to be honest. And I just really enjoy kind of becoming one with myself and using my body weight and, with the yoga and the stretching and the meditating and the Pilates. And I feel like that's really helped not only my physical, but my mental health,
Not to jump like straight to college, because I know Pat likes to go through the early high school and everything.
Yeah.
But this is just because we're on it right now. Did you feel like it was burnout from lifting that kind of made you step away from it? Because I had some similar experiences whenever I got done playing in college. I was like, man, I don't even want to work out now after I graduated.
Yeah, I definitely went through a phase. So lifting and, exercising, working out has always been like a big part of my life. I'd say more so when I was in high school and college. Obviously, it's something that we do every single day. So yeah, I think like being able to take a step back from that, especially just on that, that grind, the heavy lifting, Olympic lifting is what we were doing. I would say there was definitely a little bit of burnout there. And I've kind of come one with myself to figure out what type of exercise I actually enjoy. And it's far from that. But yeah, I would say burnout definitely is something that I would, chuck that up to.
Yeah. Well, athletics require a different kind of training than just day-to-day life does. So it's nice to find your actual rhythm whenever you get done with them.
Yeah. Well, agree. We're like 2 minutes in. AB's already preaching. So I want to kind of back up a little bit. I love 2 things you said. One, taking that step back and not feeling any guilt for that, not feeling like you're letting yourself down or letting people down, just taking that step back and, compare and contrast your routine, I think is huge. The second thing is being one with your body. I think oftentimes people see someone do something and they go, I got to match that. And that's how I'm going to become them. But you're you. Everyone does different things to get to where they need to be. So elaborate on that for me, because I think that's super awesome. I really do.
Yeah. I think it's really funny that you say that too, because along the same lines of like exercising and working out, like I have a lot of friends that are really big into like spin is a great example, or doing hardcore, weightlifting or cardio. And that's just not me, like at my core.
Yeah.
Like, can I kick into that mindset? Absolutely. And that got me where I needed to be in college. That's what I needed for my body. That's what I needed for volleyball. That's what I need to be successful. But kind of flipping that switch and being like, hey, I don't have to be like, this person or that person or who I was 5, 10, 15 years ago. I am who I am now, and I'm giving my body and my mental health what I need. And I think that's really attributed to how happy I am today and to the success that I've seen over the past few years. So
that is gold. Like, that is gold. Like, run that back if you're listening right now, because that is amazing stuff. And I want to go into the early life stuff. I'm glad that we touched on some self-care stuff early. All right. So obviously rock star athlete. I mean, you got to play at the highest level from a couple different sports, got to play volleyball in college. Tell me about early years, AB. How did you know sports was going to be your thing? And what was that driving force for you?
Yeah, great question. So I grew up in an extremely small town, Concord, Michigan, and I went to high school with less than 70 kids in my graduating class. So
yeah, same.
There just wasn't a whole lot to do in my town, right? We had to drive 15, 20 minutes to even get to the nearest grocery store or movie theater. So I picked up a ball at a very young age. I played both basketball and volleyball in high school, went on to play volleyball in college. I also dabbled a little bit with softball when I was younger. It wasn't for me. But I think the biggest reason I got into it is, number one, there wasn't much else to do, but my family really is extremely athletic. My dad specifically, he's one of 8, and they all played sports. So I think, number one, it's in my blood, but I really just enjoyed doing it from day one. I also really liked the team aspect and getting to hang out with my friends day in and day out at a young age. I think I started club volleyball when I was in maybe 3rd or 4th grade. And growing up, I just absolutely loved it. My mom actually started a club called Net Threat. Growing up when I was younger.
Shout out mom. Shout out
yeah,
mom.
Shout out mom. Shout out Net Threat. That was the first club that we kind of did together. And I think that shaped me really into who I am today. But just being from a small town and picking up a ball when I was damn near 2 years old, I think it was gold from there. So
I love it. I love it. And we're going to keep segueing into this. So I got to ask, being a 5'9" baseball player, you obviously have height. So is that the driving force behind basketball and volleyball? Was that kind of, when you get to high school, you're all everything for basketball, you're everything for volleyball. So talk about that and how we decided on volleyball.
Yeah, totally. So height was definitely a driving factor. I didn't hit a growth spurt though until I was probably like early high school days. So I was actually one of the smaller girls on my team. But I could jump.
Oh, you're an athlete. Yeah.
My leg strength is always something that I worked on at a young age. And I think the segue for me between volleyball and basketball, I think personally, I was a little bit better at volleyball. So that stuck out to me kind of as I was growing up. Mm-hmm. Also, like I said, I'm not a big cardio person. So, running just up and down the court for basketball, like, was it fun? Yes. But I was like, I really don't want to do this at the next level.
Yeah.
In volleyball, I just felt powerful. I felt, and I just love slamming the ball on the ground. Yeah. And I think that just gave me so much energy. It was my favorite thing to do. It still is one of my favorite things to do. And just at my core is really who I am. And I think some of those moments that I had at a young age and just being so successful and kind of seeing myself shape into, a person with height and a person with confidence and athleticism really led me to pick volleyball.
I love that. I love that. I think, Luke, and you might be asking, why did you go to the height? And I'm going to tell you why.
I went to the height.
Yeah, here's what I'm going to say. Because you were someone that with that late growth spurt, you developed as an athlete early on, and then the growth spurt came later. So the reason I asked, for our athletes that are listening that haven't hit that growth spurt yet, that haven't matured out yet, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, take what AB just said, control what you can control. And then as you keep going, as you keep putting the work in, you're going to be rewarded. That's why I brought that up. That's amazing. Luke, go ahead.
No, I love that. And I, in the same vein as AB, was not a fan of conditioning per se. So that's why I found goalkeeping from like probably 8 or 9. I had a little bit of sports asthma growing up. So I was like, I'm going to chill back here in the box and kind of hold down this fort. But also like the powerful aspect of it, right? people are banging shots at you all day. And on corner kicks, you get to go up and you get to be physical and contact other guys. When in soccer, it's a little touch and go how you can, hit other people until you're the goalkeeper. Then it's kind of no holds barred. So that was a fun aspect, right?
No doubt. No doubt. And AB, to keep going here. So obviously small town for you in Concord, Michigan. You get to the point of high school where, okay, you're going to now play college volleyball. Walk through your recruiting process and how you decided on Saginaw. And I know it wasn't Michigan State. Beyond, we'll get to that. But go ahead. Tell me about your recruiting process.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad that you asked about this because I feel like I have a very unique story with my recruitment process and kind of even where that led me after college, both personally and professionally. So I knew from probably my sophomore year in high school that I wanted to play volleyball at the next level, like without a shadow of a doubt. So being from a small town, I think one of the hardest things for me was just recognition on a larger scale. So I had to start having conversations with my parents, what does this recruiting process look like? How do I start getting visibility? How do I start getting in front of coaches and schools that I think I'd be a good fit for? So funny enough, and this kind of leads me into my next personal note regarding where I was at in my career after college, but I reached out to NCSA.
There it is. Shout them out.
Where I had worked for about 4 years or so. And for everybody that's listening, I'm sure that a lot of you are familiar, but NCSA stands for Next College Student Athlete. And it's a platform where you have support as a young middle school or high school athlete to get coaching and get, recognized on every aspect of the recruitment process. So I had reached out to them. I had a recruiting coach who really helped walk me through, based on my video, what division I might fit into. We talked a lot about location. We talked a lot about obviously the academic side of it. What do I want to major in? What's going to be a good fit for me there. So I started just taking like tours, right? I started going across Michigan. I knew I wanted to be in state to just try to figure out, what campuses do I like, where kind of feels like home to me that has both an opening for an outside hitter and middle back, but also has the business side of it too, which is kind of where I wanted to be long-term with my degree. So I went to a few different camps, few different recruitment camps, and I actually started out with my first college contact coming from Michigan Tech. So they're in the UP. I drove up there, really liked the coach, liked the team, but just didn't necessarily see myself at the college. It's in a very remote area.
Yeah. What's the school size there?
Yep. So it's a Division II school. I don't know exactly how many people they have, but it's about a 10 or 11 hour drive from where my home was. And I knew my parents wanted to follow me in sports. I wanted to be kind of a quick drive home to still be able to see my family. So on my way back from that trip, I went to Saginaw and just kind of toured the school. I said, this just seems right. And funny enough, in the upcoming weeks, they had a camp that I was able to go to, and I kind of sunk with my recruiting coach at NCSA beforehand. She was able to help me reach out to the coach there. And it was fantastic. I was able to meet the coach and the team, and we set up a formal visit shortly after, and that's pretty much all she wrote. So I ended up at Saginaw. I played volleyball for 4 years. To Pat's point, if I didn't take the college volleyball route, I would have absolutely landed at Michigan State. Go green, go white.
Go green, go white, baby.
We're the Spartans. We're the Spartans at my high school, so we kind of have a connection there. Not really, though.
Yeah. Hey, I love it. Connecting the dots for sure. But yeah, that's my story.
And to speak on Michigan State, we've definitely spent some football and basketball days watching the Spartans, and definitely became a Spartan fan for a couple weekends. But back on track here. So obviously, a couple of takeaways for our listeners. One, being places that feel like home, right? And Saginaw felt like home in your recruiting process, somewhere where you saw yourself not only preparing for the next 4 years, but for the next 40 years. And the second point would be understanding what you want to do career-wise, and look at you now, like successful, happy, about to move to a brand new place, start a new journey, just enjoying life in your 20s. I think that's powerful stuff. It's more than your sport. And just to throw a wild card in here, you rock started at Saginaw. You had a great career. Go ahead, Luke.
No, 100%. I think knowing what you wanted from your school before even starting the recruitment process is amazing. And especially having NCSA help you out and walk you through that, which is a great resource. Shout out NCSA.
Thank you.
But having that foresight to know, like, we've got to get a degree here and we got to know what's going to happen after these 4 years, right? So that's something that I want all those younger athletes out there to look for. And also I want them to look for that connection with the team, right? The connection with the coaches and connection with the team. I think that's one of the most important parts. I got to see my college coach this past week in our alumni game. And then he came out recruiting at the high school tournament I was coaching at. So it's just amazing to see those relationships develop over the years.
Yeah, I would totally agree. And being team oriented is something that is in my blood, in my veins. And I think that's the number one thing that I look forward to is, how am I going to get along with my team? How am I going to grow with my team? Do I see myself as they're really your family when you're in college, right? And funny enough, I still have amazing connections with not only, girls that I played in high school with, but in college. And we actually have a trip planned to Florida in a couple of weeks that we've done last year. And it'll probably be a tradition with a few girls that I played in college with. So I'm extremely blessed, not only for the opportunity to play, but for the people that really, helped me along that journey and shaped me into who I am. And that I still have very strong friendships and connections with today.
No, powerful. And I think often we get so wrapped up in our identity in our games, baseball, soccer, volleyball, cheerleading, golf, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, it's about the people and the memories and those lifelong friendships, people that will be in your wedding. No one talks about that huge spike you had junior year. They talk about the times and the memories and the friendships. I think sometimes it gets lost in that. So I wanted to emphasize that. Luke, anything there?
Yeah, it goes back to the old quote, right? People forget what you say, but they'll remember how you made them feel. And that's how I try to live my life, right? Just try to make people have a positive experience and a feel good experience, man.
No, love that, Luke. And I want to be conscious of AB's time. I'm outside the beautiful sunshine out here in Long Island. AB, I have not stopped smiling. Run the recording back since you jumped on. But, you hear the Whopper song behind me? That's pretty cool.
Oh, it's going.
This is banging. All right. Besides that, AB, I want to be conscious of, I have to wait for the Whopper song. Okay, here we go. So I want to be conscious of your time. Obviously, smiling face. You're doing an amazing job professionally. You've impacted my life. You've impacted a lot of people out here in the Chi. But you've had ups and downs, highs, lows, like everybody else. Tell me your keep going moment right now.
Yeah. So it's funny listening to some of your other podcasts. I'm like, what is my keep going moment? Like, have I had a defining moment? Like, what do I want to talk about? And I think similar to DK's episode, I don't really have a specific defining moment that I think has shaped me into who I am and pushed me to keep going. But how I would define this in my journey is my keep going moments. I think I've had a lot over the past 27 years of my lifetime. But I think what keeps me going every day is focusing on the present, focusing on what I can control, both personally and professionally. I think, where do I want to be 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road from now? And what can I do every single day to get one step closer to that? I want a family. I want to, be higher in my sales career. I want to continue to push to get promoted. I want to be an inspiration to young women that are in sports and that thrive to be in the same position that I am today. So I think I still have yet to find that huge defining moment, but I think a lot of things in my past, my family, my friends, my team, my coaches have really shaped me into who I am today, and they keep me going. So that's kind of how I look at it from my perspective.
I absolutely love that. That is fantastic. And I think the big thing is, wow, I'm blown away by that. There's the fact that you credit those ups and downs and the people you've met along the way to keep driving you to the day, talking to you present moment. I think being fully present, understanding that, and being such an inspiration for female athletics and female athletes. Amazing. Luke, go ahead.
100%. And I think that's something amazing about sports, right? Whenever me and Pat got together to talk about, well, what do we want to do for this podcast? How do we want to center it? We wanted to make it an athletic focus because of what sports shows us about focusing on the present, like your keep going moments, right, AB? If you start looking ahead to the next game, to the next season, well, you're going to miss what's right in front of you. You're not going to be prepared for the next step in the process, right? So athletics just tells us how to be focused on the present and how to make sure our life is going in the right direction by following A, B, and C and not going A to D, right?
Yeah.
Strong, Luke. Strong. I got one more thing. And I ask a lot of our guests this. If you had to tell little AB one thing, speaking to your younger self, what would you tell her?
It's so funny that you asked this too, because I was thinking back to how excited I was my transition from high school to college volleyball. I mean, it's huge. Not a lot of people get the opportunity to play in college. And again, I'm so blessed for my coaches, for my NCSA recruiting coaches, for my family, my friends to get me to where I am today. But I always used to say before big games, when I was nervous, I was getting stressed, play for the little girl who fell in love with the game. And I truly believe that that's still something that I tell myself every day, whether it's in my personal life or my professional life. Play for the little girl that dove in on that volleyball court every single day from when she was in third grade, you know, through the ups, through the downs, the wins, the losses, the injuries, and just look back at how excited and how, you know, grateful that girl was just to be where she was at, you know, at that given time. So that's kind of what I would tell myself and what I continue to tell myself every day through the highs and the lows, and it gets me through.
Dude, I'm gonna hit a Pat O'Malley phrase right here. Run that back.
yes. Play for the little girl. AB, I'm blessed to know you. I'm so happy you took time out of your Sunday and meeting Luke for the first time. I know he has not stopped smiling for the last 15 minutes either.
I know I'm pumped on this.
We couldn't be more thankful. So thank you so much. And before we wrap up, promote yourself. Where can our listeners find you?
So I wouldn't say huge on I'm not on Twitter. I'm on Facebook every now and again, but y'all can find me on Instagram. My handle's Andrea_Brigham. I can send that to y'all. But feel free to reach out anytime. I'm always happy to have a conversation. I thrive off energy. I thrive off sales. I thrive off friends, family. And so if anybody wants to reach out at any time, definitely don't hesitate.
Awesome. No, you filled our cup today. You're an inspiration for not only female athletes, but oh my goodness, people that you come across with. So thank you so much for your time.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Pat and Luke. So
also,
nice to meet you.
What you love you, AB.
Yeah,
thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
Go
AB.
get that hot girl walk in. Go get that walk
in.
See you, AB.
Right,
see ya.
Luke, man, tell me about that, bro.
Come on, son. Come on, son.
And if you don't nail this ad read, you're about to get fired.
I know, dude. That's what I was thinking about.
Give me that ad read.
CNC, BNC, homegrown design. All right, we're going to link the bio. We're going to link the website in the bio below. I was actually looking at it before. Baseball season is here. Opening day was Thursday. Cubs took the first W of the year. Then we took the first L of the year yesterday, right? Ups and downs. You ride those highs and lows with your team. But what better way to support than to have a nice coaster with your team logo on it? Homegrown Design can hook you up. Okay, they've got that on there. Wood and resin coasters to put on your nightstand, your coffee table, however you want to, whatever beverage you want to enjoy your game. Homegrown Design can supply the placemat for that. Okay, go and check them out in the bio below.
A lot of NCSA love on the old pod today. 100%,
I know 100%.
AB knows Christy. I know a lot of our guests have been from NCSA, but Homegrown Design, check them out on Etsy, check them out on socials. Awesome job per usual. And actually, Brother Bill just got someone from them. I saw on their socials. So
yeah.
We got guests hooking up with other guests and getting some stuff done. Love it.
Connections, baby. That's what I love to see.
That's it. Well, Luke, I want to jump into our next segment here, and I'm going to make sure we roll into our social media shout out of the week. So, Luke, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I was super fired up when Pat found this one and hit me up about it. Sergio Ramos, okay?
You nailed that.
The Giants, plays for the San Francisco Giants, and every time, this is super cool, Pat, every time a kid asks for his autograph, he gets the kid to sign his hat, and that's the hat he wears out every day whenever he goes to play. I mean, what an inspiration to the kids, right?
Oh, fantastic. And talk about impacting the youth. These kids have been through so much. COVID, everyday life, the ups and downs struggles of being a kid in 2023. And Sergio Romo, for the last 10 plus years doing this, not only to inspire the youth, but to inspire himself. And I have to shout out my guy, Pete, who actually took that and did it this week and wrote "keep going" on his hat. Gosh, it's the chain, that domino effect of positivity. I absolutely love that for a million reasons.
It's just what AB was talking about, right? Play for the little girl, play for the little boy.
That's it, man. That's it. I love it. Anything else on that, Luke?
No, man. I'm just super fired up on it. Maybe a couple other pros see that and they start rocking that too. Not many people are asking for my autograph, but if they do, I'll get theirs on the brim.
No, Luke, I'm that guy that signs a baseball and I make it less valuable than it was.
Yeah, exactly.
So we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that.
No resale value.
No, absolutely not. Let's go into our charity shout out of the week. And I have to shout out Adam O'Malley. He was on early on the pod. Fantastic episode if you have not listened to it, over at Benedictine University. So Benedictine this week, for their SAC, actually had hundreds of student athletes, coaches, and admin for Helinski's Hope, inspired by Tyler Helinski. We're going to put all the information in the show notes. What a fantastic cause from their athletic department and their university, spreading the word on mental health. And you're not alone in this, guys. Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, I think just like why we started this podcast, right? Impact one person. Anytime that you can make that impact even greater by doing an athletic conference, right? By doing an athletic department, or just by your team, and you're taking it from one person to 10 people to 20 people to 100 people, you're just going to impact more lives. And that's what it's all about.
Now, Helinski's Hope, shout out the Helinski family, and just shining light in 2023 and for years to come to end the stigma, one event, one person at a time. Love that a bunch. Luke, I want to go into the mental health mailbag, and I'm going to keep butchering the name until we get one that's solidified. But I do have a question. 100%. I do have a mental health question for you to ask from the audience. So let me go ahead and ask you this real quick. So, Luke, the question of the day is, are there cures for mental health problems?
So this is a difficult one, guys, right? Like me and Pat have talked about before, we're not psychologists, we're not psychiatrists. What we want y'all to do is take those next steps to either talk to a counselor or talk to a therapist, so that you can get some actual very solidified and clinical help if you need it. On the other side of that, there are some actionable steps that you can take to help anxiety, right? To help any of those different things that everybody suffers with every day. Okay. You can talk to your support group. Okay. You can get that counseling like I just talked about. There's some medication that you can take as well. I've taken medication for ADHD for quite a while now, and it's helped me stay focused and on top of things. Friendships are huge, right? But a couple too that you can nail down every day is exercise and good sleep, right? And add on top of that what Pat does. Pat is a great resource for nutrition. Okay, so those three things are going to make a world of difference if you're feeling down in the dumps, right? Exercise, getting your 8 hours, and getting some good nutrition to fuel your body. That's going to be amazing for you.
I think that's a great point. And Luke, we may not be specialists, right? But we can get you in touch with the right people. We've had that network. We've had these guests on now. So if you have questions about what you should be doing, don't fight through this alone. You're talking to someone, myself, who tried. I tried, guys, and no one knew. Like, no one had any idea what I was going through. And this happened with buddies that I had no clue. Speak up. You don't have to man up. You don't have to be a hero. Ask for help, and we can get you in touch with the right people. And for the stuff that we can control, like the resources and the nutrition, hydration, exercise, we can help out with that and get you in touch with even better people. So, Luke, fantastic job.
Yeah. And I wanted to add on a little bit at the end, because something that I personally struggle with, and it's something that AB talked about today, just staying present in the moment, was the meaningful occupation that you kind of floated, that idea you floated out, Pat. Like, sometimes day to day can be so hectic, it can be so busy that, you know, you forget that you're actually making an impact with your job. So that's a great way to get plugged into your community and make a positive influence. I'm always kind of, am I doing the right thing? Am I teaching these kids Spanish the best that I can? Am I doing this and doing that? Am I coaching the best? And Spencer Ann always has to talk me down. She's like, look, you're being a positive influence on them. You're showing them how to work every day, whether you do it perfect or not. And that's, you know, find that way that you can make your job very meaningful to your community and yourself.
Exactly, man. It goes back to the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant quote.
Yeah.
You might not be 100% that day, but you're going to get my best. And that's all you can control. It doesn't have to be the A++ every day. Show up, do the best you can, and the rest will fall where it may. So I love that a bunch. And, you know, seeing it throughout the world of professional athletes this week, we'll touch more on it next episode. But what a fantastic week to end the stigma. What a fantastic week to keep making a difference. And Luke, anything else before we wrap up?
Hey, man, just excited to keep going.
Man, just keep going, baby. All right, I love you, bud.
All love.
Yes, sir.